Hello class. So this is continuation of our pre-recorded lecture on stock and their valuation. Okay. So for this part, um, we will be using our module. So let me share it with you. Okay. So let's go with our module number 7 is stocks. Okay. Stocks and their valuation. So some basic principles and concepts. I had already discussed it with you, and I believe you had already those topics in your financial accounting or in your lower accounting. Okay, so common shareholders' main rights, voting power, the ownership in a portion of company, the right to transfer ownership, entitlement of dividend, opportunity to inspect corporate books and records, the right to sue for wrongful acts. Okay, the difference between authorized shares, issued shares, and treasury stocks. Okay, so all those things were already discussed with you in your lower accounting. Okay, the preemptive rights, founder share, okay, closed or private, publicly owned, the primary market versus secondary market. Okay. Okay. So let's go with this. Let's start with bull market and bear market. Okay. If we say bull market class, this is the prolonged rising stock market coin on the analogy that a bull attacks with his horns from the bottom and up. Okay. So isipin nyo yung bull class. Di ba? Kung halimbawa, ito yung ulo niya, magsisimula siya sa baba, tutumba kanya na, tutusukin kanya ng ganon. Okay? So, from bottom, pataas siya. Okay? Parang susuwagin kanya. So, kaya siya tinawag na bull market. Mula sa baba class, pataas. Okay? Pag sinabi namang bear market class, ito yung kabaliktaran. From top, going down. Okay? So, mula sa taas, pababa. Kasi, ang sabi dito, it is a prolonged declining market. Mahabang pagbaba ng mga prices ng stocks. Okay, bakit siya natawag na bear market? Okay, analogy that a bear is what? With his paws from top to down. Okay, so, ito yung paw, for example, from top going to down. Okay, so ganun siya mag-wipe yung bear. Okay, so tinawag siyang bear market. Stock valuation. Okay, a value of a share of his stock. Okay, ito yung the present value of its expected future cash flows. The same with bond valuation class. Ito yung value or the present value of its expected future cash flows. Okay, so compare natin doon sa natapos nating topic, bond valuation. Kung doon sa bond valuation, di ba yung interest, value of interest, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual interest na-receive natin. Then, present value nun, plus yung present value ng face value na ma-receive natin at the end of its term. Okay, so yun yung dun sa bonds. Dito naman sa stock valuation class, ito yung ano ba yung mga ma-receive natin or cash flows natin. Okay, so we have yung dividend. Okay, or kung ibebenta na natin, i-dispose na natin yung stocks. Okay? Kasi, ang pagkakaiba class, under bonds, meron tayong maturity date. Okay? However, dito sa stocks class, wala tayong maturity date. Kumbaga, indefinite siya. for long period siya, hindi walang limitation. Alam na, di ba, ang corporation, wala namang term or walang end, di ba? 50 years siya and renewable. Okay, di ba? Ang corporation, yung life of a corporation. So, yun yung future cash flows natin, class. Okay? Ang sabi dito, dito sa part na to, no guaranteed cash flow information. So, even the dividends kasi, class, remember, ang dividends, dinedeclare yan ng mga board. Okay? Based on the declaration ng board of directors. So, kung walang declaration of dividend, wala tayong cash inflow. Okay? Ang sabi ko, no maturity date, valuation is more of an art than a science. Okay? So, bakit an art dito? Because since wala tayong maturity date, more on estimates tayo, plus. The valuation is more on estimates. Kumbaga, assumptions. Kumbaga, yun yung ginagamitan natin ng sining. Okay? Sining class. Hindi kasi siya exact. Okay? Kumbaga, mere assumptions yung mga gagamitin natin. Okay? So, valuation is more of an art than science. Okay, dito yung summary, class. Okay. Definition of terms used in stock valuation. Let's start with market price. Pag sinabi natin market price, this is the price at which a stock sells in the market. Okay? Ito yung bentahan doon sa market, class. Pag intrinsic value, the value of an asset that in the mind of a particular investor is justified by the fact it may different from the asset's current price. Okay? So, pag intrinsic value, ang cost kasi ng stock, may mga pagkakaiba. Meron tayong tinatawag na true value, meron tayong sige, puntahan natin. Saan ba nakalagay yan? Yan. Didiscuss natin dito mamaya. Intrinsic value versus stock prices. Okay, so ilib ko muna yung part na yon. Intrinsic value. Then let's go with growth rate. Ito yung pag-increase or yung pagtaas or growth ng dividends natin. Okay, per share. So let's say for example, for this year, meron tayong 10 pesos dividend per share. Okay? 10 pesos dividend per share. Then, for next year, ang dividend natin is 12 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong 20% growth rate. Yung pag-increase from 10 to 12. Okay? Yun yung growth rate niya, yung paglaki ng dividends. Okay? Required rate of return, the minimum rate of return on a common stock that a stockholder considers acceptable. Okay? So, ito yung parang effective interest rate natin doon sa kabila. Effective interest rate natin sa advance. Okay? Expected rate of return, it is the rate of return on a common stock that a stockholder expect to receive in the future. Actual realized rate of return, this is the rate of return on a common stock actually received by stockholder in some past period historical. Okay? Dividend yield, it is the expected dividend divided by the current price of a share of a stock. Then capital gains yield, the capital gain during the given year divided by the beginning price. Okay. Etong dividend yield, ulitin natin, eto yung dalawa kasi. Dividend yield and capital gains yield. Pag sinabi natin dividend yield, eto yung kinita. Kinita ng stock natin through dividends. Let's say for example, meron tayong stock, ang cost ng stock natin is 100 pesos. Okay? This is just an assumption or for example lang siya. Example lang natin siya, 100 pesos yung current price ng stock natin. Okay, then we have a dividend of 10 pesos per share. Okay, we have a dividend of 10 pesos per share. Ibig sabihin, class, our dividend yield is 10%. Okay, dividend yield is 10%. That is our dividend, which is 10 pesos, divided by the current price of our share of stock. Okay? Meron din tayo yung tinatawag na capital gains yield. Ano naman itong capital gains yield? Ito yung pag-increase ng value ng stock natin. Okay? Pag-increase ng value ng stock. Okay, so halimbawa, binili natin yung stock 100 pesos. Okay? Yung cost ng stock natin 100. Then after 1 year, class, yung stock na natin, ang value na niya or pag ibebenta mo na siya, hindi na 100 pesos ang price niya, kundi 120 pesos na siya. Okay, so ibig sabihin, meron tayong 20% capital gains yield. Okay, yung price niya at year 1, which is 120, less natin yung price at year 0, which is 100. Ibig sabihin, may 20 pesos tayo. I-divide natin yan sa price or the beginning price or the price at year 0. So we have 20 divided by 100. That is 20%. Okay? So capital gains yield. Ulitin natin, ang dividend yield, it is the dividend divided by the price of the stock, and capital gains yield increase in the price of our stock divided by the price of that stock at year 0. Okay? So, expected total return, it is the sum of expected dividend yield and the expected capital gains yield. So, in this case, sa example natin kanina, dividend yield natin is 10% and capital gains yield is 20%. So, we have total expected return of 30%. Okay? Total expected return of 30%. Now, let's go to stock price versus intrinsic price. Pag sinabi natin stock price, class, it is simply the current market price and is easily observed for publicly traded company. Okay? Stock price, it is simply the current market price. Kumbaga, ito yung cost or yung price ng stock pag bibilhin mo siya sa market. Okay? Current market price. Okay? Now, pag sinabi naman natin intrinsic value, it represents the true value of the company's stock and cannot be directly observed and must instead be estimated. Okay? Ito yung tinatawag natin or na true value of the stocks. Okay? Bakit, sir? Meron bang hindi true value of stock? Meron. Ito yung stock price. Kasi yung stock price, madaming mga considerations or factors na nade-determine ng stock price natin. Okay? Yung intrinsic price, ito yung nakadepende lang sa dividends natin. Dividends, saka yung computation, kino-compute natin, kumbaga, ito yung intrinsic price. Dito sa stock price kasi, ito yung nag-fluctuate at makikita natin to sa mga stock markets. Like for example, the Philippine stock market, okay? PSE, Philippine Stock Exchange, okay? Dito kasi nakadepende yung prices niya, for example, sa sentiments ng mga investors. Okay, let's say for example, okay, sabi nila, ang stock price nakadepende yan sa dalawa. It is greed and fear. Okay? Greed and fear. Okay, punta muna tayo sa isa, yung fear. Pag sinabing fear, class, takot, di ba? Ano yung mga nagko-cause ng panic? Okay? Panic buying, something na gano'n. Ano yung uh, mga bagay-bagay na nakakatakot sa mga stockholder. Okay, kasi halimbawa, for example class, merong kumakalat na sakit. Like for example, yung COVID. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, bakit biglang bumaba yung stock prices nung nagkaroon ng pandemic? Kasi because of that fear plus. Because of that fear. Okay? So, affected yung market natin kasi kumbaga nagkaroon ng lesser transactions, nagkaroon ng fear na hindi maganda ang operations ng mga companies natin. So therefore, lahat ng mga stock prices natin bumaba. Okay? Or meron tayong ine-expect na unfavorable, okay, government new rules, like for example, okay, government interventions, okay? Kung may mga bagong taxes, increase in taxes, okay, bumababa yun yung stock prices natin. Sabi ko nga kanina, based on sentiments kasi to plus. Pag, like for example, may good news naman, may good news tayong na-receive, tumataas yung stock price natin. Okay, next, greed. Actually, class, sometimes stock prices were manipulated. Minamanipulate din siya ng mga rich or yung mga mayayaman ng mga tao. Okay? So, meron tayo yung tinatawag na mga artificial fluctuations. Kumbaga, ginagawa ng mga mayayaman, bigla silang, kung gusto nilang pataasin yung price, gusto nilang pataasin ng price ng isang stock, bigla silang, for no reason, bumibili sila ng bulk, madaming bilihan. Bibili sila ng mga stock. Okay? Then, kung gusto nilang pababain, bigla silang benta ng mga stock. Okay? So, this is yung market price doon nakaka-apekto. Okay? Or, halimbawa, okay. So, yun nga class. Sabi ko, based on people sentiments. Okay? Sentiments ng mga tao kung minsan. So, that's sometimes, kaya pinipredict natin, ano ba yung mga may lalabas ba na good news or bad news. Okay? So, nakadepende din class. Okay? Ano yung mga lalabas na good news or hindi. Ngayon, itong intrinsic value naman class, hindi yan naapektuhan. Okay? Hindi yan naapektuhan ng kahit anong klaseng news. Kumbaga, stagnant lang siya based on the different growth rate, ganyan lang siya class. Okay? Based on computation. Okay? Market equilibrium. Ito yung equilibrium. Ibig sabihin, ito yung pinagpapantay natin siya. Of course, when a stock price equal its intrinsic value. If the stock market is reasonably efficient, gaps between the stock price and intrinsic value should not be very large, and they should not persist for very long. However, in some cases, an individual's company's stock price may be much higher or lower than intrinsic value. Okay, so eto class. Ito yung true investors return then perceived risk. Okay, so kumbaga, ito yung market price based on perceptions ng mga investors. Then ito yung true rate or true price, the stock intrinsic value. Okay? Based on the returns, rate of return. Okay. So, eto yun class. Next. In valuation class, eto yung napaka-importante or significant na fact. Significant fact na binibigyan natin ng consideration. Unlike a bond, it does not have maturity date. Okay, so hanggang kailan tong stock na to, it is expected to be outstanding as long as the issuing corporation exists. Okay? So, yung buhay niya perpetual. Okay? The value of a preferred stock is the present value of its future cash flows. Okay? So, we have a formula in computation for the present value of or future cash flows for a preferred stock. Okay? So, PO equals DP over KP. Okay, PO stands for the current market price of the preferred stock. Okay? Current market price of our preferred stock. Okay? Or price zero. Okay? Price zero. Kumbaga, ito yung beginning price natin. Okay? DP, annual preferred dividend. Okay? So D, dividend, P, preferred. Annual preferred dividend per share. And KP stands for required rate of return on the preferred stocks. Okay? It is the required rate of return. Or sometimes, ang ginagamit nila dito, R or I. Okay? So, pero dito sa akin, gagamitin ko ngayon K. Okay? Rate of return. Meaning rate of return. Okay? Let's have an example. Okay? Para mas maintindihan, tingnan natin itong example ng to. Assume that Ajax Corporation issues $100 par value preferred stock, paying an annual dividend of 12%. If this stocks at par value, its current market price at time of issue obviously is, okay, so compute natin. PO equals dividend over interest or rate of return. Okay? So, price zero or the price of our preferred stock is equals to, okay, dividend natin, $100 multiplied by 12%. So, that is 12 pesos divided by rate of return. Annual rate of return natin is 12. Okay? 12. So, 12 pesos divided by 0.12 or 12%, we have $100 per share. Okay? Ganun lang kadali class. $100 per share. So, eto na yung price ng preferred share natin. 100 pesos per share. Okay. Now, suppose that sometime later the market requires a 15% rate of return on Ajax preferred stock. Okay. The market price of Ajax preferred would then be, ulitin natin, 12 pesos yung na-compute natin kanina as dividend divided by 15%, which is our new rate of return. Okay, so we have 80 pesos per share. Okay, we have 80 pesos per share. E paano naman kung if the rate of return required by the market declined, bumaba naman? Dito sa pangalawa kanina, nag-increase siya from 10 to 15. Dito naman, from 12% to 15. Dito naman, paano kung bumaba siya from 12 to 10%? Okay, the new rate of return natin is 10%. Okay, so our dividend, which is 12 pesos divided by 10%. So the price of our stock is $120 per share. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin niya, class? Pag tumataas yung rate of return natin, pag tumataas, bumababa ang price natin. Pag bumababa yung price natin, yung rate of return natin, pag bumababa yung rate of return natin, tumataas yung price natin. So, ibig sabihin, it is inversely related. Okay? Okay, so yan yung sa preferred. Let's go now naman, paano naman pag common stock? Okay, di ba? Kasi sabi natin kanina, meron tayong dalawang klase ng stock. We have preferred and common. Okay, let's go to common. It says here, common stock represents the residual ownership of a corporation. Okay? An investor purchases a common stock expecting to receive periodic cash dividend and usually hoping to sell the stock at some future date for more than its purchase price. Okay. So, di ba, ang purpose natin kung bakit tayo nag-invest is para for wealth accumulation. Okay? So, ina-expect natin, nag-invest tayo sa stock kasi ina-expect natin, etong binili natin yung stocks ngayon, pag ibenta natin siya in the future, mas mataas na yung price niya. Okay? Other than the dividend na other than yung dividend na na-expect natin, yung pag-accumulate ng price, ito pa yung isa ina-expect natin. Okay? Another expectation, mag-increase yung price niya pag ginawakan ko to ng mas mahabang panahon. Okay? General approach to valuation of common stock is the same as in valuing the any financial asset. Okay, we have the dividend valuation model. Similarly, the value of share of common stock is equal to the sum of the present values of expected periodic cash dividend and its future market price, both discounted at the required rate of return. Ano yung pinang-discount natin? It is the required rate of return. Okay? So, doon sa bonds class, doon sa bonds, di ba, kinocompute natin yung value ng bonds based on the interest. Okay? The present value of coupon payments, di ba? Coupon payments na na-receive natin plus yung value, face value ng bonds at maturity date. Okay, dito naman sa common stock, pareho lang siya class. Ito yung present value of our dividends na matatanggap natin plus the present value ng stock pag binenta na natin. Okay? Pag binenta na natin. Okay? So, yung mga yon class, i-discount lang natin. Discounting. Okay? So, let's have an example. Suppose that you have an opportunity to purchase the common stock of Blair Corporation. You expect it to pay dividends of $2 per share a year from now, $2.50 in 2 years, and $3 in 3 years. Okay. So, kung doon sa bonds class, medyo yung coupon rate natin uniform. Dito class, yung dividends natin nag-iiba-iba. Okay, so ibig sabihin, i-compute natin to isa-isa class. Parang gagamitin natin yung long method. Okay, you believe that you could sell these stocks at $50 per share at the end of 3 years. Okay, so assuming class, maturity value niya, ito yung 3 years. Okay, assuming meron tayong plano na ibenta yung stocks na hawak natin at the after 3 years. Okay? So immediately after receiving the $3 dividend. If you require a 15% rate of return on this stock, what is the maximum price per share that you would be willing to pay for it? Magkano dapat natin siya bibilhin? Okay, kasi yun yung question. Magkano natin bibilhin yung stock? What is the price of this stock? Okay, na in-where hindi tayo lugi. Okay? Kasi dapat it's either at 15% yung return na nakukuha natin or higher, di ba? Or kung mas mababa man sa 15%, at least bibilhin natin dapat siya at a discount. Okay? Bibilhin natin siya at discount. Okay, so tingnan natin the price, compute natin yung price ng common stock natin. Okay, so una, i-discount natin itong mga dividends. Okay? So, 1 plus I raised to negative n. Okay? Di ba ganun yung ginagamit natin? 1 plus I. So, 1 plus interest or rate of return is 15%. So, 1.15 raised to negative 1 for 1 year. Okay? Multiply it by the dividend, which is $2 per share. Okay, yan yung for year 1 natin. For year 2, okay, 1.15 raised to negative 2. Okay, year 2 na tayo. Then that will be multiplied with our new dividend, which is $2.50. Okay? $250. Okay. Then for our third dividend, 1.15 raised to the third power, negative 3. Okay? Negative 3 power. Okay? Multiplied by a new dividend, which is $3. Okay? Plus yung value ng stock natin or yung pagbebenta natin ng stock at the end of 3 years, which is mabebenta daw natin at $50. Okay? So, 1.15, pareho lang siya, raised to negative 3 multiplied by 50 pesos or $50. Okay? So, yung unang dividend natin, ang value nun is 1.74. For the second dividend, the discounted value is 1.89. For the third dividend, the discounted value is 1.97. And the selling price of our stock, discounted value is $32.9. Okay, $32.9. Okay, so the total amount is $38.5. $38.50. Okay? So, ulitin natin, ang price ng dollar, kumbaga, pwede natin siyang bilhin at 38.50. Okay? Or else, kung tumaas tayo sa 38.50, ibig sabihin, lugi tayo class. So, ibig sabihin, we should purchase this stock at $38.50 or any amount lower than $38.50. Okay? How about kung no growth dividends? Ibig sabihin, doon kasi kanina, meron, kung mapapansin nyo, merong $0.50 na pag-increase yearly. Okay? Paano naman kung hindi nag-increase? So, ito ibig sabihin, ito yung mas madali. Okay? Ito yung mas madali kasi uniform siya. Ordinary annuity lang ang gagamitin natin. Let's say, for example, okay, a mill milling corporation is a very stable firm that mills flour. It has persistently paid annual dividends of $1 per share. It has consistently paid annual dividend of $1 per share for the past 20 years. Income-motivated investor expect AMIL common stock to continue to pay annual dividend of $1 per share in the foreseeable future and required a rate of return of 12% on this stock. Okay? Mhm. Pause lang muna. Okay, please. Resume. Okay. So, compute natin ngayon yung value ng price or yung price ng uh, stock natin. Okay, so dividend natin, simply dividend divided by the rate of return. Okay, so here we have $1 per share divided by the rate of return of which is 12%. Okay, so we have the price of our stock is 8.33. Ganun lang kasimple, class. Okay, ganun lang siya kasimple. Meron din tayo yung tinatawag na Gordon model or yung constant growth rate model. Okay? So, it assumes that dividends will grow at a constant compound rate. Okay? So, hindi siya isang or uniform na dividend pero yung paglago niya or yung paglaki niya constant. Okay? So, ito yung tinatawag natin na Gordon model. Okay? So, the formula for the computation of the price of the stock is price of stock or price zero is equals to dividend 1 divided by interest or rate of return over rate of return minus the growth rate. Okay. So, example natin para mas maintindihan natin. If Bartlett Corporation common stock paid dividends of $2 per share for the past year, and investors expected dividends to grow at 6% compound rate, then dividend for the coming year will be 2.12. Okay? So, ang sabi ito, $2. Okay? Tapos, meron lumalaki siya ng 6%. So, times 1.06, we have 2.12. Okay? So, ngayong year na to, $2 siya. Next year, ang magiging dividends na niya, 2.12. Okay? And then, the following year, sa susunod na naman na taon, so 2.12 times 1.06, we have 2.25. Okay, then on the third year, 2.38. Okay, ulitin natin. Dividend natin, historical, okay, or dividend zero is $2. Tapos, year 1, ang magiging dividend na natin for the coming year is 2.12. Then for the second year, 2.25. For the third year, 2.38, and so on and so on. Okay? Each expected future dividend will be discounted at the required rate of return on Bartlett stock, which we shall assume to be 12%. The sum of these discount present values will be the current value of each share of bar that is stock. Okay, so formula natin, dividend 1 divided by rate of return minus the growth rate natin. Okay, so dividend 1 natin, dividend 0 is 2 times 1.06, we have 2.12. That is our dividend 1 divided by 12% minus our growth rate of 6%. Okay, so 12 minus 6, we have 6%. So, ibig sabihin, $2.12 divided by 6%, we have $35.33. Okay? Dollars. Okay, $35.33. Effects of managerial discussion on company stock value. Okay. So decisions management have profound effect on the value of firms' common stock. Managerial decisions may cause any of the three elements, dividend 1, rate of return, or the growth rate to change, resulting in a change in the common stock value or the price of a stock. Okay, because maximizing value of the common stock is the basic goal of the firm, it is clear that its managers must continually be aware of the probable effects of all their important decision. Okay, so dito na po nagtatapos ang ating stock valuation. Okay? So, next topic na tayo next meeting. Okay? So, thank you. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.